right, so there's also, besides interplay with termite and with financing, there's interplay between the appraisal and the termination fee. The seller, again, cannot be assured that he or she will ever see a termination fee, because if the property does not appraise and there's an appraisal contingency, or if there's appraisal contingency and the appraiser requires repairs to be made, and the seller says, I'm not making those repairs, or the buyer's not going, or the buyer is not going to make the repairs, or doesn't have the money to make the repairs, then the buyer would be able to walk away from the contract because the contingency is not met. And when the contingency not being met, then the buyer is not required to go forward. And so you would have issues there. A real life example, I was scheduled to close on a property. The day before closing, we received information from the appraiser saying that there were possible issues, that guidelines required that certain structural modifications be inspected and deemed structurally sound by a third party, and that there were modifications to this property that fell in that category. And so the appraiser required a structural inspection before or as a condition, or that his appraisal was subject to that. And because of that, the buyer had to in this case, the buyer immediately sent out someone to make that inspection. But if it had been a significant repair and the appraisal is subject to that repair being made, then the property won't appraise. If the property doesn't appraise, then we know that if there's an appraisal contingency, then there would be the question of whether the seller would reduce the purchase price or not. So again, if the buyer terminates the contract, or in better words, the contract becomes null and void because of an appraisal contingency that can't be resolved, then the seller will not be paid a termination fee. So that is something for sellers to keep in mind.